Welcome to another edition of Minot Matters here at the Dakotan. I am Jonathan Starr. Today I am joined by the newest member of the City Council, Alderman Mike Hayes. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I feel like most of Minot has been waiting for this moment. We went through summer. We had 6 people on council. We didn't have a mayor. We finally, at the end of summer, we finally got a mayor, and we still had 6 people on council. And we had a bunch of 3-3 votes, and now you're the 7th member. Votes are starting to happen, 4-3, 3-4, however people see them happening. It's good. So we're excited that you're here.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we're thankful for that. We're going to jump into, slightly get into the weeds eventually. But beginning, who was Mike Hayes?
Came from Washington State. Well, I spent my first 16 years in Idaho.
Okay.
Moved here to Washington State from Idaho. Spent 30 years out there. Raised 5 kids, all in the Stanwood, Camino area.
Okay.
In 2000, I was heavily involved with the community out there.
Right.
The kids programs, basketball programs, namely. Yep. Where my last group before I turned it over to the next and up and coming, I had 600 kids in my program, and I had 88 coaches and assistant coaches.
Wow, that's
so
incredible.
It got to be a big program,
Yep.
which I enjoyed doing. I was in the building trades out there. I started as a bricklayer in my younger years, and turned into building a house here and there, a little bit of land development, and then decided a kid that had worked for me for years talked me in, said, hey, Mike, have you thought about going to North Dakota?
Of all places.
Of all places.
Yeah.
So I decided, I'd try it.
Yep.
And came out here originally just to do nothing. I was tired of working for myself. I had my whole entire life. I've had, I can count my employers on 2 fingers.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Of my
Incredible. 2
career.
of them. Yep.
And the company I came out to work for was short-lived. I was doing the same thing I did back in Washington, running everything, taking care of all the projects. So I figured, well, why not? I'll get back into it doing myself.
Yep.
About 6 months out here, I met my wife.
Okay.
She is a Botno native.
Okay.
In 2000, so I did my construction company for just a couple of years.
Yeah.
And then my wife and I teamed up in 2015. She wanted to change of pace, so we teamed up and formed 4 Seasons Construction.
Okay, I see.
And with that, we grew into doing just 10 or 12 homes a year to 40 homes a year.
Right.
Over the past few years. We decided to make the decision here last year to, actually it was the beginning of this year, to retire and enjoy life.
Okay.
So
and then he
that's
went
where
and
we're at.
applied for city council. So the enjoy life might be a little bit light, but at least you're retired.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mentioned your Idaho, so that make you a Washington State Cougar fan, or then
Husky.
You're a Husky fan.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's good. I am too. So so this is a good thing, and they're doing all right so far. They just
Not so much the Seahawks, but
but
Mariners, yes, and Huskies, yes.
Mariners are on a roll right now,
Oh, yeah.
and the Huskies just went and took it to the Palouse and beat them up a little bit. So that was all right.
Yeah.
So good things happening over in Washington, but in North Dakota, in Minot. 4 seasons contracting, my bad. Yep. And so that's kind of where you kind of integrated heavily into the community there. I think that was kind of where people knew you when they were deciding who to choose to be that 7th member on council. Why did you decide to be one of the applicants, though, for council?
Why I put my application is I think the city council's lacking that insight to not really development, but the whole realm of construction, development, building, the public works department, engineering department, the inner workings of all those departments. I felt I could be a help with that, as far as the public needing help with that process.
Yep.
is a big thing, is how to navigate that system and make it easier for people to go get a building permit, to go,
I see.
do a little bit of development, just to make
Right.
that process easier for them.
So from your perspective, one thing that we've heard about, a specific phrase that we've heard from, I believe several, at least from council at least, is red tape. That when you're going and trying to develop, when you're trying to do stuff in Minot, that there's a lot of hoops that you had to jump through, or things are unclear, however that works. Have you experienced that, or how would you describe that better from on your side?
I would say from my side, it was mainly the building side, but also development.
Yeah.
I don't think it's so much red tape
Yep.
as it is set the rules and don't change them, and make the developer builder aware of any changes that are going to come down the pipeline that can be costly. Myself, 2 different instances that happened that were very costly. One of them, I went to city council to try and get what the engineering department was after changed, and it was it cost us an extra $50,000
Wow.
that shouldn't have.
Yep.
Another one is misinterpretation of the code, and you're already vested in these projects, so you can't back out.
Right.
You
That's
have
the
to
thing.
push forward. Well, they keep throwing more and more at you, and it just makes it defeating. If you're not going to make any money at the end of the day, why do it?
Right. Yeah.
And I hear the same thing from another couple gentlemen that we were working closely with. Same thing, said they won't develop anything more in Minot.
Wow.
They were a big factor of the last plat that we built. Because of the not red tape. I don't think it's red tape. I think it's just the unknowns.
Okay.
And they throw those costs at you, and at the end of the day, you don't make any money. It's like, why do this again?
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Understandably, why you would run on that. As you have went, and I'm sure you've done a few tours, and you've began to get more familiar with how the city works, the different departments, how they work. You mentioned you had stopped at the police department, the different areas. What are some of the concerns that you see, or maybe even some of the positives that you see that are in place?
One of a big concern now is, after a 2-hour tour of the Minot Police Department, is as a city we should be embarrassed.
Wow.
It's below standards of how they operate the facility that they're in. It takes money to. But it's been years. The city
Right.
has grown and grown. That department, sure, they're given the old city hall, but it's still it's millions of dollars to remodel.
Right.
Taxpayers don't want to hear that, but if you were to take, as a taxpayer, if you took a tour of that facility, you would understand what I'm talking about. It's just not what we want Minot to be represented of.
Right. No, that makes sense. And that's the difficult balance that you're now thrown into the middle of. And it's not your fault. It's just the way that the dates worked out, where you get thrown into the middle of a lion's den right now, right in the middle of budget season. You had your city council meeting most recently, where you sat through till 12:30 a.m. the next day, had almost 2 hours of public hearing in it. Like you're going through it right now. And obviously people are very concerned about that budget that you referenced a little bit. How do you approach? And I understand that you're at the deal where you're still digesting, you're still taking in a lot of stuff, but kind of, I'm sure there's some principles or a mental focus that you have when you begin to approach this budget. How do you bring that approach to a city budget like this?
As you said, I'm just getting familiar and getting my feet on the ground with everything.
Yep.
The number one thing I hear prior to city council is property tax.
Yep.
Don't raise
Right.
our taxes. Don't raise our taxes. So we're trying hard to accomplish that.
Yep.
But there are some with just natural inflation drives the cost up. And the people of Minot have to understand that we as a city council, we can maintain that, but there's other departments that affect your property taxes.
Right.
And that's the school district is a big factor, the parks department, the police department. Those all contribute to potentially raising your property taxes. It's not just the city of Minot.
Right.
We're one portion of that property tax.
Right, for sure. No, that's a great point. Like when you get your property tax bill in the mail, you're going to have, as you mentioned, Ward County, you're going to have City of Minot, you're going to have Park District, you're going to have the school district. And the City of Minot is even the highest taxing authority on there. And that's something that is good for citizens to remember. Show up at other public hearings too. They affect you as well. All right. So obviously a priority is sounds like is taxes. You are aware that there's a concern about that. Two, there's really trying to streamline and make more aware, streamline those operations that the builders have to go through. I know several people that have built as well, and there's not always a positive experience that they have. Obviously, if you're doing it yourself, it's a stressful time, but it's not always a positive experience. Are there any, when you get beyond that, are there any other priorities that you had as you went and made that application and decided to join the fray?
Oh, there's such a short time frame that,
Exactly.
9 months is not long.
No.
A month's already gone.
Yeah.
I would like to see more with, I have some ideas, and again, I'm looking at the homestead
Yep.
property tax reduction, but one of the things I've been researching and will continue to research, see if there's an avenue, is freezing property taxes for seniors at 65 years old.
Gotcha.
It doesn't lose the city money immediately. It's just froze. And
Right.
in 10 years, those property taxes that they were paying to the city of Minot may have only been, or their tax roll may have only been $1,500 a month. And in 10 years, it could be $5,000.
Right. Yep.
So if we can put a mechanism in place to freeze those at 65 to where they don't go up beyond that, I think would be a good thing.
Yeah. No, we were talking with somebody recently, and when you think about just over time, like already seeing the rise in property taxes, for better or for worse, not trying to get into the complexities of that conversation, just over the last 10 years, it has risen substantially. And if that's to be a trend for the next 10 to 20 years, property taxes are going to be insane.
Yes.
Like it's going to be impossible to live. But you mentioned 9 months is a little bit of a short time to kind of get all, have a long priority list that you have of things you want to work on. Is 9 months the end, or is there going to be a re-election campaign, or is it too early?
It is early, but if I feel at the end of this in June, if I feel I've made a difference,
Yeah.
and I feel I have a positive influence on the city of Minot, the citizens of Minot, then I would run again.
Okay. So it's not outside of the cards.
No.
There's a chance. Well, that's good. Because we like that. We like to hear people that are interested in staying engaged in public service. So we've kind of talked about what brought you to Minot. We've talked about some of the priorities here, the pressing question of are you going to run again? But you are retired. You do have a family. You have those things. Well, what are just tell us a little bit about behind when you're not behind the dais, now that you're not having to work every single day, you're retired and stuff like that. What's life like? Maybe you still do work every day.
I still do work.
Exactly.
We're still currently building a few. The wife and I are just building a few homes, couple of homes, primarily to keep a couple of employees busy. We have warranties to deal with.
Yep.
So we are just creating a job for them to be able to take care of warranty work and that we have.
Gotcha.
Eventually, we will wind down completely. Right now, this is like a full-time job catching up.
It is.
So it's a little
lot of people
overwhelming.
say that. A lot of people say that. And Minot, obviously, you said you married someone from North Dakota, but Minot going to be the place for retirement, or what's your thoughts? Do you love Minot enough to want to be retired here?
Yes, we just fully intended on retiring in Garrison.
Okay.
We had a house
that's
down there
wonderful.
we built, all set up, ready to retire to there, and then we ended up buying another house back in October.
Yep.
And selling our one in Garrison because we knew that we were staying in Minot.
Yeah. I feel like that's probably the problem with a home builder is there's a home and then there's another home. You love homes and you see them a little different than everybody else. So, but very good. Well, I appreciate you coming on. Anything that you want to tell the people or tell anybody that might be watching the podcast?
Oh boy,
It's the hardest question we ask.
Yeah, give me a chance before you criticize to get my feet wet.
Yeah.
And fully understand the items that are brought to the city council.
For sure.
Your concerns. Let me get my feet wet and so I can make an honest decision and evaluate what's brought in front of myself. And one thing is, I would like to see the city council become one and not divided.
Right. No, that's a huge point right there. That as one deal. Obviously, it's been a interesting few months. So appreciate those insights. If somebody wants to get a hold of you, I believe they can go to the city website, and your city email address is actually there, so they can send you an email and give thoughts or inputs on anything that might be on an upcoming city agenda.
Yep.
So appreciate you coming on today.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And thank you to everyone for watching this episode of Minot Matters, getting to know the newest alderman here in the city of Minot, Mike Hayes. Be sure to like and subscribe. We're live every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. talking city stuff. So be sure to stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your